Hello, welcome to the QMS channel. I'm Julie Harlow, and today I'm going to tell you how to get started with ISO 9001 in 5 steps. Well, before I start, I'm going to ask you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if this subject is interesting to you, share this video with colleagues in the field, people you know, send it to that quality group and that group of entrepreneurs. This will help us a lot here and motivate us to make more content like this. Well, how do you start ISO 9001 in 5 steps? This is an important point, so it's here for you. You need to start ISO 9001 within your organization. The first thing you need to assess is whether you have competent people to implement ISO 9001 in your company, or whether you need to hire a consultancy to help you with this process. So that's the first stage. I'm going to assess whether I have competent people. If I don't, I can guarantee their competence, train them, and have them go out into the market and train in ISO 9001. Or I'll hire a consultancy to help me implement ISO 9001 at first. So this is a key point within your organization. Well, the second point I'd like to talk about is process mapping. It's much easier to obtain, implement, and start an ISO 9001 if you have defined processes within your organization. If you already have them, great, you're halfway there. If you don't, you'll have to do process mapping. You have to map all of the organization's processes. What's that like? So you follow the customer's path. So how does the customer get to you? Commercial area, tendering, order taking somehow? So that's the initial commercial process here. After that, there's okay for a purchase order and a service order. Then I'll also map out this process, what the service is like, how the product is manufactured. I'm going to map out these service processes here. Product manufacturer A is a product manufacturer. There will be several production stages. So I'm going to map out all these production stages, and then what the final delivery looks like. The service has a report, a certificate, a report, a signature, etc. Whether it's a service or not, how does the customer receive the product? How is this product shipped? The process must be mapped out from start to finish. Like every process, it has a start, a process, and an output. When mapping the process, one tool you can use is the turtle diagram, which you can find on Google. So the little turtle there will have 4 legs, a tail, a head, and the process. Then you can map the process. This is a very simple tool that can help you map each process. So, process mapping is an important second step for you to start implementing ISO 9001 within your organization. Well, the third step is to acquire the ISO 9001 standard and study it, right? So you go to the specific sites to buy the ISO 9001 standard. You buy the standard, it's like a book, a standard like an instruction manual. You buy that standard and start studying it. So the standard is not a literature book. You're not going to read it, but you are going to study the norms. You'll read it, highlight it, go back to it. At this point, you're going to take a self-study away from the specific rules. You'll look for videos here on our channel, where we'll talk about the various requirements of ISO 9001. You can study these requirements of ISO 9001 and it will help you a lot in this process, so it's an important point to acquire ISO 9001. You can also take a specific course in understanding the interpretation of the standard. This is an important point within the organization. Well, the fourth point now is to list action plans. You list specific action plans. Then there's also specifically saying that the organization should evaluate the organization's internal and external issues with its quality management system. This is requirement 4.1 of ISO 9001. So you'll have to assess these internal and external issues. In the action plan, you must list who the interested parties are in the quality management system. In requirement 4.2, in the action plan, you list the interested parties. Then you will have dozens and dozens of action plans to implement ISO 9001 within your organization, either with the support of the consultancy that you can discuss with the consultancy to implement or with your internal staff, so there is no problem with this process. The fifth point to start implementing ISO 9001 after the action plans, of course, is to execute them. So you go point by point, action plan by action plan. You're going to have document generation, you're going to have document structuring, you're going to have to do a SWOT or something similar for the context of the organization. You're going to list the stakeholders, you're going to establish a scope, you're going to map out a process, you're going to establish a policy, you're going to establish positions and salaries and a job description. You'll also set objectives and targets. You're going to establish quality risk management. So there are several actions. Now it's down to business. So those were the 5 specific points to get you started on this journey of implementing the management system. In addition to these 5 points, I'd like to give you a tip on how to make the most of this quality management system implementation journey. Before certification, it only happens once, so take advantage of it. Of course, it's tiring, it's something new, it's a different requirement that you're having in the market. But, nevertheless, it's a point that you have to take advantage of. You have to go deeper because you're going to go deeper into this subject. You'll go deeper into the management of your organization and the management of your company in general, not just within the regulatory requirements. This is another tip I'm giving you. Don't see ISO 9001 just as a quality management system, or just as a standard, or just as a certificate. But see ISO 9001 as a great opportunity for you to revisit your organization's processes, to get to know your organization's processes in depth and certainly to improve them. That's the important point here for you to evaluate process improvement. The ISO 9001 standard is based on the PDCA cycle, which stands for P for plan, D for do, C for check, and A for act. By planning, executing, checking, and acting at all times, you will be running this PDCA cycle to add value to your organization. It's a path of no return. It's a path to quality. Your organization will be known and recognized before ISO 9001 and after ISO 9000. Then you just have to seek certification here with QMS Certification and really have a certification partner that will add to your audit process, just like QMS. I want to thank you for your patience in this video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below on what other steps you think you need to take to get started with ISO 9001. See you later.